Hello everyone, welcome to my Chef Fathima Shifnaz YouTube channel. A special warm welcome to all the students of the intermediate class joining us today. As I promised, today's tutorial video is all about creating a beautiful buttercream cupcake bouquet. I'm excited to guide you through the steps to create a stunning and delicious masterpiece. Let's get started. In this lesson, I'm going to cover tulip, large rose, allium, and leaves. As I mentioned earlier, I add a few grains of rice to the bottom of my cupcake trays before placing the cupcake cases. This trick helps absorb any excess grease from the cupcake cases, resulting in clear baking. Plus, you can reuse the rice multiple times for your baking needs. I used a simple vanilla sponge recipe for these cupcakes and I'll share it here. Typically, this recipe gives you around 18 cupcakes, but I ended up making 17 without bothering to adjust for one more. For this cupcake, I have used 3 eggs, 150 grams butter, 125 grams of sugar, 150 grams of self-raising flour, and 2 tablespoons of vanilla. You may have noticed that I reduced the sugar by 25 grams from the original recipe. Since I plan to decorate these cupcakes with buttercream, I decided to cut back on the sugar a bit. For sure, you won't notice any taste differences. Once I have filled the batter into the cupcake cases, I'll bake them at 175 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes in a preheated oven. I inserted a cake tester into the baked cupcakes and it came out clean, so I know they are perfectly baked. While the cupcakes are cooling down on the rack, I'll preparing the buttercream. I'm using Stroke brand butter, which is the same butter I used for the cupcakes. Just to clarify, I'm not promoting any specific brands here. I'm simply sharing what I personally use for my cakes and bakes. For this buttercream recipe, I'm weighing 200 grams of butter and 400 grams of icing sugar. Sift the icing sugar and begin beating it. Once the buttercream and icing sugar are combined, I'll add 2 tablespoons of rose water and continue beating until the mixture is light and fluffy. This is the rose water KTC brand I am using for this particular recipe. Once I add the rose water, I'll beat the buttercream on high speed for another 2 to 3 minutes. This is the texture I'm aiming for when piping the cupcakes. Even when I folded, the buttercream maintained its smooth and creamy consistency. This consistency maintains its shape when piped on the cupcakes. I'll cover the buttercream bowl with cling film and then I move the bowl to the side while I prepare the rest of the things here. Let me divide the buttercream into small portions, aiming for about 1/8 of the total amount of buttercream. Next, I'll mix fuchsia color into the divided portion of buttercream. This is a kind of bright pink color. I'll mix a small amount of color at a time to achieve the desired shade. Then I'll lay down a piece of cling film on the surface and spread the colored buttercream onto it, forming a rectangle shape measuring approximately 20 centimeter by 10 centimeter. Ensure to spread the buttercream on the cling film smoothly. Avoid any air bubbles. On top of the color buttercream, I'll spread uncolored buttercream, covering approximately the same length as the center line lengthwise. I'll make sure to spread it evenly across the center and then bring the two edges together to stick them together. I'll try to release any air trapped inside the cling film, starting from the center and working towards the edges. Then I'll release the air from the sides. Roll the remaining cling film around the covered buttercream and tie the edges together by twisting the cling film. It's done for now, and I'll leave this cylinder buttercream pack inside the fridge. It's a bit soft, as you can see it. It warms up in my hands, so I'll keep it in the fridge until I finished mixing the other colors. Now I am preparing buttercream for leaves. I'm using spruce green color. Using a toothpick, I am picking up a small amount of the paste and applying it to the side of the mixing bowl. Then I'll take a small amount of buttercream and mix it with the color, blending it well before adding it to the rest of the buttercream. This ensures a smooth and even color blend. I'll add few more paste of the color to the cream to achieve a slightly darker shade. I'm quite satisfied with this green shade for the leaves. Today I'm using the Wilton brand nozzle number 352 for the leaves. I'll insert the leaf nozzle into the piping bag and trim the corner to expose the nozzle tip. Once it's set, I am filling the piping bag with green buttercream. And again, don't forget to release any air trapped inside the piping bag. Tie a knot at the top and then place it in the refrigerator until I mix the rest of the colors. I'll set aside the green bowl for now and use the previous bowl to Mix a slightly darker shade of the same fuchsia color for the large rose, adding extra paste to the bowl. I'll mix it well to ensure an even spread of color throughout the buttercream. Adding a large rose petal Attico brand nozzle number 124K. Alternatively, you can achieve the large rose with the Wilton brand nozzle number 104 or 125. I'll insert the nozzle into the piping bag and trim the corner to expose the nozzle tip. Then I'll fill the piping bag with the buttercream and again I'm releasing any air trapped inside the piping bag. Twist the top and I will leave it in the refrigerator until I finish coloring the rest. Moving on to the star nozzle, which is the Wilton brand nozzle number 13 for creating tiny stars. I'll prepare the piping bag with the nozzle, cut the corner, and fill the piping bag with plain buttercream without any colors. Then I'll make sure to release any air trapped inside as usual. Then knot the top to seal the bag. And we are done with coloring the buttercream and we filled the piping bags with nozzles. We are moving on to the next step. Let's take a look at inside one of the cupcakes. I'll cut it to see how the texture turned out. I am pleased with the result. Let's take a look at the cupcake cases I used. They are from PME brand and come in a pack of 300 cases. They have a height of 1 inch and a base diameter of 2 inches. These cases fit perfectly into our plastic disposable cups. I also use cases from the Dr. Oetker brand, especially for kids' birthday parties. They come in a pack of 75 cases. You can see the two different sizes here. They have the same height as the others. Base diameter of 1.75 inches, which is roughly 4.5 centimeters. Whether the PME brand was 5 centimeters in diameter. Let's take a look at the bottom of the cupcake cases. As I mentioned earlier, I used the trick of adding grains of rice underneath the cupcake cases for baking. You can see there are no grease marks underneath any of the cupcakes. I am leaving the dome part without trimming off the top. This will serve as my starting point for building up the buttercream flowers. I'm using the green colored buttercream to coat a layer on the cupcakes. I'll focus on working on 7 cupcakes only for today. This is the nozzle I'll be using for tulip flowers. I'll insert it into the piping bag and trim the corner to expose the nozzle tip. Then I'll take the cylinder buttercream pack from the refrigerator. Cut the excess cling film from one edge and insert it into the piping bag. I'm twisting the piping bag to bring the buttercream to the tip while keeping the piping bag tight. This helps to release less pressure on the piping bag, allowing for a controlled release of buttercream from the nozzle tip. Apply gentle pressure on the piping bag to release the buttercream through the nozzle, allowing it to stick onto the cupcake. Slowly pull the piping bag up while continuing to apply pressure to release more buttercream, shaping the flower. Once you reach the desired height of the flower, stop giving pressure to the piping bag. Repeat the process to create the rest of the tulips on the cupcake. Let's pipe some leaves now. Keep the nozzle pointing upwards. With this piping nozzle, buttercream will release from both sides of the tip. Position the nozzle tip where you want to place the leaf. Then apply pressure to the piping bag to release some buttercream. Let it touch the cupcake. Then move the piping nozzle in and out with pressure to release more buttercream. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and release as a pattern. Repeat this process to create the desired number of leaves. Let's move on to creating the large rose. Keep the longer nozzle point touching the cupcake as it will form the center cone of the rose. The shorter nozzle point will create the edges of the petals. Start by piping a cone in the center, then build petals one by one, using the center point as a guide. For the first circle, pipe 3 petals, starting with one petal and then piping the second petal from the middle point of the first petal, and then the third. Slowly build up the rows, adding one petal between the previous ones. Remember to rotate the cupcake evenly as you pipe the petals. I'm done with the large rows. Now I'll add a few more leaves around the rows. Please follow the previous instruction using a pattern of in out while continuing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for each leaf. For the allium flower, I'm going to fill the cupcakes with small stars until the surface is fully covered. I'm repeating the tulips and helium flowers for 3 cupcakes of each type. I'm finished with piping the cupcakes. As you can see, this is how I am going to arrange them into the bouquet. It's important to plan it out first on the surface before arranging them into the bouquet. For this bouquet, since it is in shades of pink, I have chosen pink hearted tissue. The length of the tissue is 50 centimeters and the width is 35 centimeters. For the lengthwise, I'll measure it to 40 centimeters and cut off the rest. For a 7 cupcake bouquet, you can wrap them with 40 centimeter by 40 centimeter square. It can be a tissue or cellophane.
So it's three of it. One, I will keep one is like this nearby, and the third one is so literally I can see all the points, the corners. Okay. Again, this sheet, I'm choosing 2 sheets of this, and I'm going to cut that also around 40 centimeter by 40 centimeter. So roughly from here. I hold the corners, so it is 90 degrees, so I know it's going to be a 40 by 40 now. Don't worry about like 1 or 2 centimeters are bigger. You don't need to spend too much time to trim it off. So I will bring these two shades like a proper centipede. So it's like a one is a square, and I will bring the next one looks like a diamond. Okay. To that, into the center, I just bring the heart-shaped pink color one tissue papers. So just something, get the corners to see without touching one by one. So just you can see the corners all around. Okay. And I remember you guys remember how to do that. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Get the center point. Keep the cups. Keep some slow tip cups handy so that's easy to stick. So just bring into the center and hold the point and the side. Okay, from the side, bring your slow tip, stick it bit tighter. If you did one side, go to the opposite side. So what's happened? The cups can be held properly. Okay, from here, bring it, fold it, tape it. Okay, literally like a folding. Fold, tape the side. Okay. Hold the cup in the center. Bring it tight as much as possible. And again, this side. So something like this. Roughly 6 corners I was take it, and they need to hold the shape. Try to. Okay. So you have sealed the plastic cup. Now we are moving on to the cream. Around roughly like a 10 to 12 centimeters. So yes, it's 12. So 12 by 12 squares. Let's see how we are going to fix it. So cupcakes are here. First I'm going to organize the sides, then I'm put the center part. So it will lift it a little bit, then the sides, okay? Try to keep two tissues and put it inside. Yeah, how pretty. Keep it into the center and pass through slowly. There you go. Just start to getting heavier, so that way. So I'm going to move into this side so it will balance the weight. So a little bit lifting up the tissues. I'm going to hold this. Again, lift it a little bit, the sides tissues, and slowly pass through, make sure. And the center part now. And then, if you need to add extra leaves little bit, you can add it.
After wrapping the cupcakes with the tissue, you can tie a ribbon or pull board around the bouquet. If you find it difficult to tie around the bouquet, you can use double-sided tape to secure it in place. You can see the buttercream is set and firm now. When I touch it, it's not sticking. Finally, I have finished my buttercream cupcake bouquet. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please leave me a comment below if you have any idea or feedbacks. Please stay tuned to my channel for more content. Until then, bye from Chef Fathima Shifnaz.